Hey guys, it's Calaveras32 Special again. Appreciate you stopping by. Today I wanted to do a quick video, just showing some parts and that I've put together. I assembled my first AR here not too long ago. I'll just kind of give a quick overview of the what parts I use, and I'll show them to you on the rifle itself. I didn't want just another 5.56. I wanted something a little different. Hey, I'm a little different, so a rifle, that's a little different just kind of made sense. So I went with rather than being chambered in 5.56, it's chambered in 25-45 sharps. And that's, so I got the barrel for it here. Or was the barrel box, but barrel's not in there. It is a 25 caliber or a 257 diameter slug. The casing for it is parent case off of the 223 Remington. Same shoulder angle. It's just a larger throat. You actually can fireform a 25-45 out of a 223. I went with that because I wanted something that carried a little heavier slug. The standard bullet weight on the 25-45 is an 87 grain soft point or full metal jacket, depending which one you want to buy. And it can go as high as a 100 grain monolith. The barrel I got was an H-bar contour, 416R stainless steel, 20-inch with a 1 in 10 twist, and had a rifle length, gas system. That's for the rifling, if I remember correctly. Let's see here. Okay, it's stainless steel, high pressure grade, polygonal rifling. So it's, as I understand it, not the conventional rifling. It's something a little funky. Thread, it does have a threaded muzzle. Even though California, I can't put a muzzle device on. I just have to have a thread protector. It is threaded to match the factory conventional 308, so that way you don't accidentally put a 22 caliber muzzle device on a 25 caliber rifle. Nice little safety feature there. The bolt I went with was also from Sharps. This was their extreme bolt carrier group. It was on sale at the same time the barrel was. Hard to say if you could see it, but Sharps at the time was based out of Wyoming. Nowadays they're actually based out of Florida. Being that the cartridge is based on a 223, the bolt carrier is just a 223 5.56 bolt carrier. You can use any off-the-shelf 223 bolt carrier in these rifles, and they work just fine. I went with the Sharps simply because I didn't have any. This was my very first AR, and being a little paranoid about my chambers and making sure everything matched, the information I had found online was if you got a barrel and a bolt from the same manufacturer, the head spacing would be, more likely to be in spec. I did check my headspace. I'll get into that, in the next video when I show some of the tools I used to put the rifle together. Being that I went with the 20-inch barrel, I decided to go with a 17-inch, forearm, so that it covered more of the barrel, so it's less likely to burn my hand. I went with a UTG Pro. It is a key mod, so I wanted to have the option of attaching accessories at some point, depending on what law is allowed. But I also, I've handled rifles with the quad rail, and the pick rail, had with the sharper edges on it. To me, it seemed like a good way to get, to bite in your hand, and something that would bite into your hand too much while under recoil. Even though the recoil on these rifles is pretty light. The recoil on the 25-45 is supposed to be not a whole, I think 10% more than a 223 AR, so pretty minimal. When I purchased mine, I looked up, KeyMod and, M-LOK, and at least at the time, what I was finding was KeyMod was more common at the time, and I could get the long forearm for a significantly better price. So I went with that. It's, I'm not set on KeyMod at this point. If I build any more ARs, which I'm actually currently working on an AR-10, I'll probably go with KeyMod again, simply for consistency, so that I have one system, just for ease of use. The forearm is metal. Let's see, does it say on here? Sorry, I like to make noise. Aircraft grade aluminum. So it is a metal, it has steel barrel nut, and locking collar, and then the aluminum forearm. And it came with two different pieces of Picatinny rail, the Allen wrenches, the hardware, this kind, as well as the barrel nut wrench that you put on the end of a torque wrench, to assemble it correctly. So it's nice it all came together. You didn't have to go searching for anything special. This rifle was put together with the idea of being a varminter or a small hunting rifle or something along those lines. So I was looking, even though it's a little heavy, I wanted something a little simpler. I didn't want the adjustable, I didn't want a bunch of adjustable components. And being in California, I probably wouldn't be allowed to have kept them anyhow. So for the stock, I went with the Magpul MOE A2 fixed length stock, and for lower. Well, I went with this. It not too expensive from what I could find. It's supposed to be pretty good quality, and it fit what I needed. Not knowing a whole lot, I wasn't too picky. I might not go with one of those again, depending on how I like this one. We'll see. In order to make my rifle California compliant, knowing that the laws were changing at the time, or getting ready to change, because it took me a year and a half to get all the parts together, having to work on a budget, and I was, when I first started buying parts, I was still in college, so I was only working part-time. I went for the lower parts kit. I got a CMMG color-coded, lower parts kit. Just for, had instructions that this color bag is these parts. Do this with them. This color bag is these parts. Do that. Made it really nice and easy for a novice, along with a whole bunch of YouTube videos. The only part from the lower parts kit I didn't use was the grip, and that was due to the California compliance law. I picked up, this is actually the buffer spring, buffer and spring from my 308, but so excuse them, but this is the same grip I used, because I used it on that as well. It is the MegaFin featureless grip. Oh, got some of my DP stuff in there. It is the fin is permanently a part of, it's molded right in to the grip, and on the, it's right-handed, and on the, so on the right-hand side, there it has a small shelf at the top for you to rest your thumb. It gives you somewhere to put it, since you can't hold it comfortably around. For the gas block, I just went with a Geissele. Was it the Geissele Super Gas Block? I went with that one just from the what I read. It can be screw and pin install for the what they call their bomb-proof install. Whether or not it really needs it, especially on a rifle that's not going to see hard use with high volume of fire, I don't know. But again, paranoia kicking in, I wanted to do a pinned install. Gas tube was just a rifle length tube I picked up off of, I think it was Midway, simply because I couldn't find one of the appropriate length locally. The barrel and bolt carrier group I had to order. The stock, the lower parts kit, the grips, and the gas block, I got all locally. So the gas tube, the roll pin to connect the gas tube to the block, to the gas block, I did order together. The lower was just it was a no-name local gun store, 80% that I milled out. Had a buddy with a little bit of milling experience kind of teach me how to use a little bit of the basic milling equipment, and then kind of watch to make sure I didn't mess anything up. It was all milled by hand, so technically it was legal, but yeah, it's kind of rough. So I'm not going to show you the milling on it. That's not something I'm proud of. The upper receiver was again a no name. I believe I ordered it online because I couldn't find any locally that were complete. I decided I didn't want to try to install a forward assist myself, even though looking at it now I don't think it would have been that hard. So I got it with the forward assist installed and the dust cover installed. I've had to take the dust cover off already, while I was hydro dipping the receiver. Didn't turn out real great. You'll see that, in a little while. Actually, I'll probably break into 2 videos that way I don't get too long-winded on you guys. For magazines, I found on sale, it was online, I ordered them somewhere, some hex mags, and these, are California legal because they have the spacer in it, so these do only hold 10 rounds. Whether or not I'll use it, we'll see, but that's where the multicolor, follower and base that you can use to identify different calibers if I build a 5.56 rifle or have a 5.56 upper or any of the other that would utilize this platform. We'll see. I haven't decided on that one yet. Also, to keep California compliant, not only did I go featureless, but I also went with an AR mag lock, locking system, which I'll show you on the rifle in the next video. The mag release button is aluminum. It has a finger that sticks up off of it that when the upper receiver is in place, it hits the upper receiver and doesn't allow it to move. So you have to, and the takedown pin has a ring on it similar to a key ring. Allows you to pull it real easy, so you can flip the upper forward, so that way your mag release works and drops your mag out. Kind of a pain. If the gun jams and the bolt carrier group is partially back, it won't open, which is a problem, obviously, because then you can't clear the weapon. I can get the ammo out of the magazine at least, because this is a no-tool magazine. It's easy enough. I can drop the base of the magazine out and at least get rid of the extra rounds. The round in the chamber I can't do anything about. I have not function tested the rifle yet, so we'll see how well it works. Fingers crossed. For function test purposes, I went with iron sights. I went, over on Gun Channels, actually talking to Dead Horse. He's the one that suggested these. The UTG Tactical Low Profile Flip Up Front and Rear. These are UTG Pros, I believe, because they are made. Actually, they are metal sights. Once I have confirmed functionality of this rifle, I will be getting a scope mount for it, and I have an old Leupold 2-7 by 32, I think it is, that came off of an old rifle. Actually, the wood-stocked bolt action that you see in the intro, that has a much newer Leupold on it now. That's a big 7mm Remington Magnum, so a 2-7 didn't make much sense to me on it. So I took that off, put a bit different scope on it. Now I'm going to use the 2-7 on the 223 on the 25-45. Any parts I forgot to mention? Oh, the thread protector. About the only part left I haven't talked about. It is brown. I got it from Brownells. I don't recall the brand on it. It's one of the lesser expensive 30 caliber thread protectors. Nothing really to write home about. All right, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. This is part 1, just breakdown, showing you some of the stuff I used. Part 2 will I'll show you the parts and they're on the rifle itself. Thanks for stopping by. This is Calaveras 32 Special. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I encourage you, if you haven't already, go check out gunchannels.com. Online community of like-minded individuals. Great, resource if you have questions. There's people over there that are that are into anything from the IDPA competition to old milsurps to revolvers to hunting to just about anything firearms or outdoor related you can think of. There's live chats going most of the time. It is in the as early March 2018. It is, Gun Channels is going through an upgrade process right now. So some of the features are currently turned off to allow upgrades. Just be patient. They are, working things out, getting things turned back on. And from what I've seen already, the upgrades are going to make the site much nicer to use. You just have to, be patient with them and give them time to finish. Anyhow, again, thank you for stopping by this evening. Have a good night.